What's up, guys? We're back at Pro League 2016. So far, I don't know, man. MVP Chicken Maro's been getting a little bit wrecked.
Yeah, they've been getting wrecked. They've been getting slapped around. I mean, when they play Seed and Blaze first against Hero and Biel, I don't think this is a surprise to too many people, to be totally honest. But this next matchup that we got going on, I mean, it's Prion Terraces. No surprise we see a ZVZ. But RagnaroK versus DeParture, I think this one is going to be a lot closer.
I think you're 100% right, Valdez. This was a tough one for me. Now, RagnaroK, he's been, I want to say a little bit, but no, I'll just tell the truth, a lot of bit cheesy, okay? He's done a lot of sucker punch strats, and I like it, but I don't know how much longevity that, that really, truly has.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting for a Pro League match. If you're going to go for a best-of-one cheese, I think that'll work out better. You'll have a better chance to just take a best-of-one, but I don't know. It's a ZVZ, Prion Terraces. I think DeParture's going to be looking out for that kind of thing. DeParture's a smart guy who's just, as he gets older, is getting better and better. And I'm really excited to see where he's going to be for 2016. And I was talking about this with you during the break. I think this guy is actually got a decent chance to win this one.
I voted DeParture.
Yeah.
I'm breaking the form. I think everybody else probably voted RagnaroK, but not Tasteless the Brave.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I hope they do show the
they will.
Predictions here.
Let's see what happens, man. Valdez, it's good to be here with you.
Yeah, it's nice.
I missed you.
Yeah. You weren't here for Thursday, but you saw that I actually tried to grow a mustache. And
yeah, what happened? Did you?
I shaved it because I wanted to keep like only a mustache, and then I was in the shower and I shaved the rest of it, and I left only the mustache, and I was just like, no, this has got to go. Like because I shaved here too.
That is actually the danger of shaving, right? Like right when I'm shaving, like I'm trimming this here,
yeah.
I got to be careful because sometimes I go too low, and then I'm like, then I got to go to the other side of my face, and then
Trim
I got to go
that one. It's got to be even.
And I get that one even lower, and eventually I'm just gonna start shaving off every part of my face.
You're just gonna have a patch here like this where there's no hair.
That's right. I respect that though. Giving it a shot.
I gave it a shot. I think it was funny. Like I didn't want to have 1 week of a mustache and then it go away. If I was going to have a mustache, it would be like an extended period of time.
You want to have like
one cast.
Would you been like waxing the tips? Been doing that stuff?
Yeah. If it grew out long enough.
Or you're either a cowboy or the biggest hipster of all time.
Yeah, there's a guy actually for another game that I cast, Vainglory, who's actually got a really epic mustache that kind of curls out here. It really fits him.
Going for the Pringles can look.
Yeah.
All right.
But I don't want to do that, Tasteless. I've given up for now. Maybe if I can grow some more facial hair in the future, I'll give it another shot. Try to join the Beard Brothers that go to the same trimming shop over by your house. Yeah.
That's right, man.
But not these days. It's not going to work out.
It's fun though. It's fun to try, right?
Yeah,
if you can grow facial hair, why not do it?
Yeah,
you know?
Especially I was in America. I was in casting. I didn't have to show like that
here's
awkward middle
question.
stage,
Yeah, I do know all about that.
Yeah.
What did your girlfriend think? Was she like, no?
She was all right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was fine.
Because that can stir up a relationship sometimes.
Yeah. The mustache.
Shave it off. I hate it. And you're
no,
like,
man.
No,
I'm an independent
love me.
man. I don't need no
That's
woman.
Right.
I can decide if I want a mustache or not.
All right. RagnaroK against DeParture. DeParture, not the best results, but he's got some experience in Pro League, you know?
Yeah,
overall, recent 10 games, 7 wins, 3 losses.
That's
right?
the thing. He's slowly getting back. He's getting his power here. It's taken a while. He had a very embarrassing, I think it was like 0-9 streak last year. So definitely wasn't their top player last year, but he's getting better, man. I'm really excited to see how he can do here for this year.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. They're dead even as far as previous games go.
Yeah. Interesting. We got like so many different charts up here. I got to get used to them, especially that pentagon chart. I don't know about that one. We'll see.
Yeah, I have a hard time actually gleaning real information from that when I look at it. I like that we have that kind of stuff.
Look at
Whoa!
It's all over the place,
Look
man.
at this tasteless. Breaking free.
Yeah, it's you and Kanata and Chaser, which is the host for Pro League, the Monday caster as we call him. And yeah, it's going to be 4-3 in favor of RagnaroK, but you're breaking away from the foreign hive mind, Tasteless.
That's right. That's damn right. You're damn right. Tasteless is a trendsetter.
Yeah.
If anything.
Well, we'll see how it works out in this game, Tasteless. Let's see.
Let's see. Our game is loaded up. We're ready to go. Prion Terraces is going to be our map. Makes for some pretty crazy, weird games. Could be long, could be short. Anyways, it's game number 3. Let's see if MVP Chicken Mario can turn this around.
We're in here to game 3 of today's matches. Down in the bottom right, it is RagnaroK for CJ. Wait, no, that was in the top left. In the bottom right, in the blue, is DeParture. There you have it. Got our players. Prion Terraces, kind of an interesting map. There's gold bases everywhere except your main. Or not everywhere, but your natural and your fourth are actually gold bases. I know they've changed up this map a little bit.
Yeah. We've had some adjustments here. Well, I think they kind of had to do that. I mean, that was Zerga. You know, they don't love having their hatcheries spread out, but it's definitely they can get away with having some disconnection there between the bases. So let's see what happens. Well, Valdez, this is going to be interesting. We got. And by the way, this is my first time casting on this map since the adjustment, so this is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
What does a ZVZ look like when you get a gold base that you can basically always defend?
It gets crazy, man. There's a lot of links to start. You can have the economies growing really fast as well. So far for both these players, seeming to take the high road and kind of just back off. Nothing really aggressive early on. It looks like RagnaroK has been a little bit more greedy in terms of getting that pool slightly later. Maybe
standard
just
RagnaroK,
one drone extra.
I love the greed, though. You got to keep in mind as well, guys, because you get the surplus of minerals, you can really take a third base very fast.
Oh yeah, basically
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how that balances out, or if it's necessarily ever worth it to immediately take a third base because your opponent can. Within that window of time, crank out like way more lings and roaches.
Yeah, it's an interesting balance, especially because the third base is so far away from your natural. So it can be a bit harder to defend, and it's a very wide open area over there as well.
ZVZ has been pretty action-packed since the start. By the way, note in a strat like this, because you're at the natural, you transfer a lot of drones immediately to super saturate. Well, not super saturate. If we really want to talk about terms and chemicals, it's not super saturated. It's simply saturated with drones at the expansion, because you're going to get that income. Even though there's a hiccup when you do the transfer, you're going to get so many more minerals so much more quickly.
Yeah, definitely worth it. And again, both players just playing very economical games, sitting back, droning up as much as possible. The Ling does not get by there. Nice defense by DeParture.
And immediately we're seeing, the massive increase in the minerals. Watch at the top right, guys. The minerals are just shooting up, which really allows them to have plenty more options as to how production's going to look. We do see the layers starting here for DeParture.
Yeah, getting that a lot earlier.
And 2 more gases, by the way, as well.
RagnaroK just looking to drone up a lot more.
Oh!
The Ling gets by. That's really nice. He's going to see that no layer just yet for RagnaroK, and that's a very crucial piece of information.
I'll tell you, man, that's enough, too. That's enough information. I mean, you get in there, okay, and he sees the layer. Well, he doesn't see, but the layer's starting a little bit later. And it does seem a little bit like it's a game where they're doing slightly different builds, but they're probably going to end up in roughly the same place.
Yeah, and after all, it looks like RagnaroK got a swell of drones a little bit faster than DeParture, and that's why his lair is a little bit later. That's really the only difference that I've noticed so far. As for now, he's only one drone ahead, so not much of a difference there.
Note that with the third base being acquired, that immediately also triggers non-stop roach production, and that actually makes a lot of sense, because if they're going to attack you and get you at any point in time, it's going to be when you're cranking out that third base, because that's when you're most exposed. So right when that starts, nothing but roaches, and this could be an issue if RagnaroK can't figure out anything to do about it, because right now RagnaroK is just sitting on two base against an inevitable third base. And there won't be much room to punish if DeParture. Okay, we see him taking his base as well here, but it's much later, so there might not be much room to punish this. By the time you get the second gold base, the income goes up so much more. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely liking DeParture's position there. Looks like RagnaroK has just made a lot more roaches and is going for speed a lot faster than DeParture is, so he may be able to put on the aggression. But as you were saying, once you get that third base up, you're going to have a huge amount of income coming through, and you're going to be able to catch up, especially with that defensive advantage in ZVZ. Definitely liking DeParture's position.
All right. So for the next, minute or so here, the economic advantage definitely going to DeParture. He can definitely outproduce. He can definitely exploit this this tiny disadvantage. And really, when you're like even on hatches, and I believe they are even on hatches. Am I correct on that? Yeah, they have to be. If you're even on hatches, that's a lead that gets pretty damn difficult to give up, unless he really messes up like Roach Ravager count or something. Let's see what happens.
Well, RagnaroK moving across the map. He finished that speed, and he's running right through, trying to focus down a bunch of these Ravagers, and he will do so, but he's sustaining a lot of losses in the meantime.
Again, still, we have RagnaroK just with less of pretty much everything here. And we saw, I think, what was probably a better firing of the Corrosive Bile. He puts it exactly in the line where he would have to retreat out of it, which then baits the opposing roaches, the RagnaroK roaches, to attack in and try to get Ravagers. And sure, he gets some, but overall his roaches are getting their asses kicked.
Yeah. Kind of an interesting timing that RagnaroK went for there. I'm not sure if it was the best idea. He kind of just did it without really knowing what DeParture was doing. I'm not even sure if he knew there was a third base up for DeParture. So kind of a lackluster attack, and now, as you were saying, DeParture, that income is really coming through, and he's got a massive army walking across the map now.
Okay, so here comes the counterattack. Now, the additional roaches and Ravagers, were garnered in this amount of time here, where it's a little bit scarier for RagnaroK. I mean, DeParture just has a little bit more muscle here. It'll come down to some of these Corrosive Bile shots and exactly how well he controls overall the roaches here in this group.
He's got the Spine Crawler there helping out and a couple of Queens, and I feel like a better concave here, but DeParture is pushing in, trying to get that damage down. He finally kills one of those Spines.
He does manage to kind of push in and begin to crack the left side over here. The Spine does go down. Queen's also taking some damage down for a little bit there at the bottom right. And I think he's actually managed to disconnect him here from the third base. Can he keep pressing forward? Supplies are starting to even out, however.
Oh man, the reinforcements from RagnaroK coming through. He's going to survive, and he's about to get +2 at the same time, so holding off that attack was so crucial. He's going to be ahead after that.
Yeah, pretty huge plays there. DeParture going to have to go back. It looked like DeParture could have won that, but as we all know, you're coming out into the production line. All of a sudden 5-6 roaches hatching at once. That's enough to turn the tide of the battle.
Yeah, that's the problem there. I feel like he didn't have the greatest concave, and with the Spines, the extra Queens that RagnaroK had there too.
Two Spines during that.
Yeah. So overall, he definitely had a big advantage, but again, attacking in there with the defensive advantage that you do have in ZVZ when you are going for these compositions, it can be dangerous at times, and he's going to pay for it.
All right, well, we have another hatch being taken here. This is basically the hatch you always have to take in this position. There's no other easy expansion to just get out there and acquire. And frankly, you know, this game has turned into sort of the opposite scenario it was earlier on. Earlier on, it was DeParture expanding earlier, having a supply lead, reaping the benefits of that. RagnaroK defended a failed huge attack that was supposed to end the game, and that is allowing him to now expand and keep the pressure on his opponent.
RagnaroK right now up 2 upgrades, and he's going for a big attack here. He doesn't have as good of a concave, but he has the upgrade advantage. And I think eventually he's just going to win this one. They're fighting pretty close to DeParture, and he does have those reinforcements. But after all, it looks like RagnaroK pushing through.
Yeah, he's continuing to do some damage. Although, you know what, maybe just barely DeParture will hang on with this next round of roaches popping out. Roasted Vials being shot off again here. Definitely a tightrope walk that DeParture's having to deal with here.
Yeah, very, very close battles so far in this game, and RagnaroK once again is in the lead in terms of upgrades, but not quite able to totally defeat DeParture there in that fight. He does have his 4th base up and running, and he's had about 8 drones on DeParture for a very long time, so we'll see that advantage come through in the economy here in just a few minutes.
Oh, okay, I thought he was actually going to try to dive into the main here. Great surround, though, right now, forcing DeParture out, and then closing in and swallowing up his army. RagnaroK just doing too much damage here, and I believe that is the beginning of the end. No way for DeParture to recover. GG.
RagnaroK pulling through there. That one defenseman by his 3rd base, just barely hanging on, I think was definitely the key for RagnaroK to survive and eventually win that game, because he had the higher drone count, he had the upgrades on the way. DeParture almost hit that timing, but it was just, I guess, a couple seconds too late.
Yeah, I think it was a judgment call there, gone wrong. The idea was there, but certainly the execution was not.
He was so close, man. He was very, very close to extending this series and winning that game.
That's it. Clean sweep, man. 3-0.
CJ coming through. Very nicely done, MVP. Chicken Maru, unfortunately, going to take another loss here. They're going to have to regroup and consider what they did wrong.
You know, they got great players on their team, but each match, the opposing team just had stronger players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really thought DeParture might take it. I was wrong, unfortunately. So now I'm behind in the caster predictions here.
It's all right, Tasteless. It's a long season of Pro League.
I can always come back. Get ready for the Tasteless comeback. That's the narrative I'm pushing here. All right, guys. Pretty straightforward. A 3-0. Very good games. But MVP Chicken Mario, they got to go back to the lab, buddy.
Yeah, they really do. Kind of interesting that they did play Seed, Blades, DeParture, and not Gumiho yet, saving him for that 4th match. I'm kind of sad we missed that game, Young versus Gumiho on Elrana. That would have been a really fun one, I think. TBT on that map.
Oh, yeah.
That can get really crazy now.
Oh, well, not much else to say. I'm kind of bummed out we didn't get to see Young versus Gumiho, because I feel like out of all the matches, that would have been the closest.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, the ZVZ was pretty close. The first 2 ones were stomps, to be honest. I mean, you're playing Hero and Bjell against players who don't have all that much experience in Pro League. Not a huge surprise, but yeah, those 2 players not really able to pull anything out against those 2 stars.
Well, we're not done yet, boys and grills. We still have.
Is that so Tasteless?
That's right. Tasteless